everybody doing? It's Michael, but wait, did we socialize the kids? We did. Hey, it's been a hot minute since I have been on here. I know I told y'all once I changed the name, I was going to be on here every week, and I have failed miserably. But we did socialize said children on March the 3rd. So let me tell you all about that, and I'll share some pictures with y'all. Let me give y'all a quick background. Oh, first, this is sponsored by I don't know, and I ain't got no sponsors, but like and subscribe, and you can hear more of my crazy antics and wild socializations, should I say. Anyway, so a little bit has changed. So I told y'all that we had put our two children in the private school here locally. Oh, and I printed that out wrong. Okay, sorry. At the private school here locally. Well, our son, who was in the 2nd grade, was not happy at all. Mainly because he didn't like sitting down at a table doing work all day. I understand. He's used to being homeschooled. Things are a little bit different, right? So went ahead and brought him home, which is working out fine. Everything's good. He still does not like to sit for long periods of time. But that's okay. Our daughter, who is in the 6th grade, does not like school, but she has one friend there who she doesn't want to leave. So I don't want to say she's an outcast, because she's not. The school's not really big enough to have those. But she didn't quite fit in with everybody. Not that she's odd and strange or anything, because Lord knows my child is a product of me, and I'm not odd and strange. I'm just me. But she just, she's got one good friend there, and her friend is just like her, and she doesn't want to leave. So I understand that. She wants to finish out the year, which I think their last day is like May the 3rd. Next week is their spring break. So she's got a whole 20 days left of school or something like that. And she's going to come back next year homeschooling because she doesn't like school, which is great. We'll figure it out. I'll make it work. Anyway, so back to what we did on Friday, March the 3rd. We went to the Gothic Jail in DeRidder, Louisiana. If you haven't heard about it, and if you're not from Louisiana, do a little Google search and search up Gothic Jail of DeRidder, Louisiana. So, backstory on this jail. For one, it is only one of a handful of jails like this in the United States. It has a sister jail in Ascension Parish or Morehouse Parish, or I don't know, somewhere else in Louisiana. But this jail was built in 1915. It's completely made of concrete. There's no wood or anything like that. It's completely made of concrete. It's a 3-story jailhouse, and the first floor is where the jailer and his family lived, the jailer's quarters. And then they had the drunk tank or something on one side, and then the jailer and his family lived on the other side. It was ahead of its time for whenever it was built. They had 4 main cells aside from the drunk tank, or the city, I think it was called the city cell, which is basically where they put people who they arrested that weren't going to stay overnight very long, or stay in jail for very long. But all 4 of the main cells, I think it was 4. Is it 4? Hold on, I got this pulled up. Let me go look and see. Hold on. I don't want to tell y'all wrong. 3 floors, bottom jailhouse, the living quarters for the jailer. Oh, it had 4 cells on each floor. So it had one in the back, one in the front, and one on either side. Okay, on the 2nd and 3rd floor. And each cell had its own facility, toilet, shower, sink, rather than a community, I guess. Granted, this was a community bathroom facility for that cell, but each cell held 12 prisoners. So it was ahead of its time. It is affectionately called I guess you could say, the hanging jail. And story goes that this guy named Joe Gina and Moulton Brasso, and this is a true story, you can look it up, hired this taxi cab driver and got him to go wherever they need to go. And they killed him and they stole $14 and then went and dumped him in a pond. And the body of the taxi driver was found a few days later. So after the body was found, the two guys, the Brasso and the Gina guy, you know, confessed and were convicted. And so they were in solitary confinement while they were there at the jail. This happened in, let's see, 1928, I believe. And they were, the reason it got the name the hanging jail is because they were the only two prisoners to ever be executed or hung in this jail ever. Now they've had, you know, murders from prisoners, you know, one prisoner killing another one, or suicides that happened in the jail, but they've only ever executed two people. They were executed on March the 9th of 1928. I think the murder took place, don't know when the murder took place. Anyway, so they give tours to this jail. It's like $5 a person. You go in and they tell you all about the families who live there and the prisoners, and they show you the different cells, the solitary confinement cells, where the women stayed and why they had to take the women away from the windows because they thought it was Mardi Gras 24/7, 365, if you get my drift. New Orleans Mardi Gras at that. So they pushed their cells back away from the windows and put bars around to a smaller area so they couldn't stand in the window and catch beads all day. Anyway, so we took the kids and our homeschool group of, I guess we had a big turnout. We probably had 20 kids and 20 parents. So a parent for each child. It was a huge, huge turnout. And they got to see this. And now take it that our homeschool group is, we live by a military base, Fort Polk. Anyway, and so there are a lot of new people coming in that have never, you know, heard of the hanging jail, much less, you know, the story behind it and things like that. So this was a real cool adventure for anybody, really. This was actually my family's third time going, but we love the story. The ladies who gave the tour, they were like, well, you could just come work for us and give the tours. And I just kind of laughed. But it's only because I've been there like 3 times and I just kind of like the story. It's kind of neat. But it was a really cool place. I didn't get any pictures because I forgot. But I had some other ladies in our group get some pictures and they were kind enough to share them with me. So I'll throw some up here on the slide. But we did socialize the kids. And we're going to socialize them again probably this week, depending on the weather. We're going to have a park day. And we've got some more socialization that's going to happen. So, like, we socialize the kids. Shh. Don't tell the public school people because they will think that, you know, they'll want to come join us. And, no, I'm picking. Anyway, so it was really cool. And the jailhouse is really cool. And if you're in Louisiana and you find yourself in Beauregard Parish, or if you're in Louisiana and you're a little way away and you want to make the trip to DeRidder, I think that they give the tour 5 days a week. They don't do it on the weekends. Go check it out. It's really neat. And it can just be you and your family. It doesn't have to be a group. It's like $5 a person, I think. And then at the Tourist Commission office, which is across the street from the jailhouse, they have the Lois something or another doll museum. And there are over 3,000 dolls of this one lady's private collection of dolls that she had. And to see all the dolls, now other people have donated, but the majority of them are this lady's collection of dolls. And it's just a sight to see. Like, they're dolls from everywhere. It's amazing. And yeah, it's just a really, really cool place. The jail's awesome. The Tourist Commission building is awesome. The Doll Museum is awesome. And then if you go right down the road, you can go eat at Cecil's Cajun Kitchen, and they have really good food there too. So shout out to Cecil's and the Beauregard Parish Tourist Commission in DeRidder and the Gothic Jailhouse. So go check those places out. They're really cool, and stay tuned for the slideshow after this. Bye, everybody.